Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Iron Trident Plays Barbie Adventure 3. I'm so funny. Just kidding. Welcome back to our playthrough of Fire Emblem 7. We are now going to proceed to Chapter 7, Siblings Abroad. We are still in Lin mode, aka super easy mode. So here we're going to get introduced. I mean, this is sort of where the story kicks off just a little bit. We're going to be introduced to two new characters here. One of them, that little small child that was just getting scolded by that porn stash looking man, Nils, and then the other one is going to be Lucius. So like I said, started chapter 7. Story's starting to unfold a little bit. So essentially, Lynn is trying to get to her. She just discovered, I guess, she has a grandfather who is being poisoned by a scary guy. And guys, if you haven't already, if you like listening to me, give me a like and subscribe. Really helps me out. So here's Nils talking, saying that his sister Ninian has been captured. And of course, our pervert Sane jumps right in. He's like, "Oh, female, huh?" All right, so we're going to look at Nils first and talk about him a little bit. And here's Kent just being like the normal sad sack that he is. And Sane just still interested in, this girl's sister, not really interested in anything else. So we're going to get introduced to a new group of enemies and a new enemy type. So this is where we get introduced to what really boils down to the big bad protagonist of the entire game, the evil, shady organization, pseudo-military, the Black Fang. So this towel-head looking dude, he's on the hunt for Nils and Ninian. Not going to talk about that right now. That's much further in the game. And start of this chapter, so this is where we're going to basically get a unit select screen. So from this point forward, you're going to be capped at how many units you can actually bring into each mission. So we're going to get Will out of here and Matthew because neither of them have anything to do in this, and Will sucks. So we will give the angelic robe to our girl Florina here, just because she's made out of glass. So it's going to give her a +7 to her HP, which is going to help her a lot. So she's going to shoot her HP up to 26. And let's just check to see if we got everyone that we want. It doesn't really matter, but Will, sorry, you suck. And we just got Lucius. We skipped that cutscene. So Lucius comes in as a level 3 monk. He's a first light magic user. D light magic. Good stats, 7 magic, 6 skill, 10 speed. Paper thin defenses, but does have high res, so he does tank magic hits pretty well, but don't expect him to survive a hit or two against anything other than magic. And then the enemy, so you're going to be forced to take this engagement right here, just so it introduces us to light magic, and it's going to introduce us to the other character in a second. But Lucius, he's a really good unit in this game, especially early on, but you'll see that light magic sucks pretty hard. So we'll look at Nils. As you see, he's got 0 strength, 0 skill, but 12 speed, pretty high defense in res for being a level 1. He is a non-combatant unit, so he should not, you can't attack anything with him. So his whole purpose is to do what he just did. So both he and his sister, Nils is a bard and his sister is a dancer. They're essentially the same unit. They are by far some of the best units in the game, because they can do what they just did, which is any allied unit they give an extra turn to. We'll look at our big bad guy, Heinz Ketchup. He is a level 5 shaman. Terrible stats, so we're going to cook his goose pretty easily here. And we'll look at a couple of the other what they got on the field. Pretty much more of the same. Mostly just bandit or bandits, or I guess brigands is what they're called. Some archers, a couple mercenaries, and it introduced us to the dark magic types, the shamans. We'll see them much more frequently once the game goes along here. So, again, Lin mode, so there's really not, a whole lot to say difficulty-wise, but we are starting to ramp up the story a little bit here, and then the difficulty, I think after this chapter, the difficulty, well, not nearly difficult at all, will jump up a little bit, because it will introduce us to some more difficult enemies and bosses and some more mechanics. So, our turn. Let's get cracking here. Let's see what our boy Dorcas can do. And Dorcas can't do anything, so we're gonna not bother with him. Let's move Nils up. Let's see what Florina, let's keep her here. I don't want her to get hit. We'll have her pick up Nils. Again, another huge use for her. Their high movement, she can pick anyone up. So we'll drop Nils off in the action here in a second to get him some more use. Wrath, we picked him up last chapter. Really good unit for early in the game. You will recruit him later in the game in Elliewood mode. A little bit more than halfway through Elliewood mode. Pretty decent unit. Talked about him last chapter. Let's get our womanizer sane. Let's get him to work here. Get him a kill, and we'll get him a nice little level up here. And HP and luck. So, terrible level up. Thanks a lot, Sane. And I don't think we talked about it, but sometimes, enemies will drop different items. So as we go out through the game, some of them will drop weapons, some of them will drop some items. And we just got a not-so-key miss from Urk there, trying to give him some love. And Dorcas, I don't know what we're going to do with you, man. Let's just give it a shot. And he's going to completely miss like a buffoon. But he'll dodge like a... Oof, Dorcas, Man, we really should have you on the bench, but I just can't because you are our savior. So in this chapter, like I said, it's pretty cut and dry. Other than the new enemy type is the shamans that I introduced. So they do throw a little bit of I'm not going to say a curveball with terrain. So there's a choke point with the terrain that's going to kind of introduce us to a little bit. Obviously, choke points and terrains become much more, I guess, prevalent is the word that I'll use later on in the game once it gets a little bit more difficult. Florina, so she's still got Nils. So anytime a unit is transporting another unit, they're going to take a movement and a stat drop. So we're going to drop Nils off before we get Florina into any action here. We do have to be careful because of the archer that's right there. So even though that archer sucks, she's still going to cook, or he's still going to cook Florina's goose if he shoots at her. So let's just move up. This archer's being a pain in the arse because he's sitting on the mountains. And he's just dodging everything. So let's... I don't want to do... Yeah, I guess we'll drop... I don't know. We'll wait a second to drop Nils off. Not that it matters a ton to get his levels up or anything, because again, he's a non-combatant, but it's still decent to get his stats up a little bit, at least for HP and defense and some res, so you can tank a couple more hits if you got him in a bad spot. So let's send our boy Wrath. I think you get something in this village. Pure water. I don't remember what pure water does. Let's take a look. Boost res, grows weaker each turn. Yeah, so not something we really need, but it'll introduce us to some temporary items. So you can give that to a unit that has low res. It'll boost it, I think, for a couple turns. Like it said, it'll get weaker every turn that you use it. So let's get Lucius in, and Lucius is going to get a crit right off the bat. Atta boy. My long-haired Lucius. Lucky locks. All right. Yeah, Lucius, like we kind of talked about, light magic in the game, in particular, is kind of bad. Um, so light magic will trump, just like the weapon triangle, just like how swords will beat axes, axes will beat lances, and lances will beat swords. Light magic will get a boost against dark magic, but will take a hit against anima magic. The same thing. Anima magic is weak to dark magic, but anima magic will smoke light magic. So it's another version of the weapon triangle here. Ooh, so Kent rather, he hasn't really done a whole lot, so I'm going to try and get him some work in. Again, I got a little choke point down here, which doesn't really mean anything to us, but it will be a little bit more prevalent later in the game, once it gets a little bit harder. So, do you see the mountains right here and then a bridge? So the game is just telling us to watch out for terrain. So we got Kent, a little bit in a pickle right here. So we got our Lucky Lock, Lucius boy. We'll get him cooking with gas over here. We will, let's see, 68, not great, but our boy Kent will shove it through his face anyway at 68% hit, and he'll get some EXP. And we will, let's see, we'll use Nils, and we'll have Nils play his annoying little flute to wake up Lucius again. I can't really stress, especially once the game gets a little bit more difficult, really how good him as the bard and then his sister Ninian, who's a dancer, is essentially the same unit. They both do the same thing. They give any unit in allied unit, I should say, in range another turn. So that is quite broken, incredibly useful. So I'll just say when I was when I was a kid and I played this game for the first time, I didn't know jack shit about Fire Emblem when this game came out in the West. I want to say it was maybe 7 or 8 when it came out, and I just saw the cover and I was like, man, that looks pretty dope. Picked it up, and then I remember thinking Wrath was like the coolest character ever, just because like I said a couple chapters ago, I do archery on the side. I don't do it as much as I should, and I was big into archery, especially like medieval bows and things. So I thought he was the coolest guy ever. And then I thought Nils was just the most useless sack of crap on the planet who was always complaining. Just because I just did not really understand how broken, giving one of your allied units another turn, whether that just to be, move across half the map because they get 2 turns to move, or attacking an enemy or a boss twice. It's, especially later in the game, we'll just see how broken it is. So let's move our boys up here. Florina. Forget who I had her pick up. Who are you carrying? Oh, our girl, Lady Lynn. And she's going to get attacked right away. And because Lynn's resistance is so poopy, she's going to take a pretty bad hit right here. So yeah, this game, or this chapter, I should say, really just introduces some terrain choke points and introduces basically magic users other than a little bit more prevalently than Urk that we got a couple chapters ago. Nice dodge by our girl Lynn there. Too bad she hits like a wet noodle. So we will feed this kill to Florina, who, like we saw in the beginning of this chapter, was just buffed up with her angelic robe. She will get a really nice dodge and she'll get a kill. And she's close to leveling up again. All right. And now we got 2 bozos left. We'll give our girl Sarah a little bit more. I think we'll give her a level up soon. Not going to say anything more about Sarah. And she's sort of like Will, like we said a couple times, or a couple chapters ago. She's not useless, but once we get specifically into Eliwood mode, there's not really a reason to use her at all. So we'll move our boys up, and our big bad boss Heinz Ketchup is waiting for us. So I think we got to give our boy Dorcas some axe work, and hopefully he can just spank their heinies with his axes, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to set myself up to be disappointed with that. And I think we're just going to try and bait. Yeah, we'll bait him, and he's going to go after Florina, so that's an interesting choice. Well, Florina, it's okay. You've been buffed by your majestic robe. Alright, Dorcas can't one-shot a shaman, so that's pretty embarrassing. So let's chip him up with Urk and see if we can finish him off with Dorcas. So yeah, so like you see, fire magic, or anima magic, I should say, is weak to dark magic, but we will get a level up for our boy Urk here. HP, magic, speed, pretty good level up. We'll finish you off with a Dorcas, and oh my god, Dorcas, what the oh, at least he dodged that. 88 hit percent and he misses. I mean, again, I can't stress how freaking bad Dorcas is. I'm really trying with you, bud. I know you got the kill, but you got to stop missing, pal. All right? So, again, we're going to show again how broken giving one of your units another chance is, because this makes Sarah, much more useful. Where if you're in the thick of a larger, more difficult battle and you only have one healer, she can use it twice if you have a healer and a dancer. So we will get her leveled up. HP, magic, skill, speed. Oh, okay, Sarah, I see you. All right. Not bad. And we'll just set up for the final assault. We're going to squirt mustard all over Heinz ketchup here. We will do a little bit of Chip. Who are you supposed to be? Well, we're here to ruin the party here, Ketchup Man. So we'll get Lucius some chip damage here. And 30, yeah, hopefully he dodges it like a champ. Okay. Who wants to kill? It's going to be our boy Dorcas. Right? No. We need to do more chip damage with Lucius, and then maybe we'll give Dorcas the kill. So we will do some more chip with Lucius, and he's just going to crit again. So actually not. Lucius, I love you. Dorcas, you can suck my farts because you suck. So yeah, pretty easy. We'll get a level up for Lucius. HP, magic, speed, pretty good. Defenses are still paper, so keep him far away from people. And this is where he's going to find out that his sister's still missing, and that's basically the end of the chapter. Thanks for watching. Watch next time.